Hello together, this is again Konstantin of macodirect. We're here at Photokina 2016 and right next to me it's Jürgen Heiland, the General Manager of Heiland Electronics. Thank you Jürgen for having us here at your booth. We started cooperating with Heiland Electronics a few months ago, primarily selling the very nice darkroom LED light, which is great and we really love this product. But as many of you probably know, Heiland Electronics has much more to offer. And Jürgen, I would like to ask you to explain some of your products to us. Thank you.
Yeah, I would do so. Thank you. Our split grade system is available for a lot of different enlargers, and it eases the process of printing your negative on multi-grade papers. Finally, it consists out of three parts: the split grade controller, as you see here, the light sensor, and one part which is inserted into the enlarger. We do all the modifications, and it works in a way that you measure the contrast of the negative with that light sensor. You measure it on the easel, and split grade calculates for approximately 30 different papers the exact exposure time and paper grade necessary to print your negative on that paper.
So you don't have to do like contrast testing anymore? And
no test strips. Within 2 minutes you get a first picture which is pretty okay to examine it, and then you might do some dodging and burning, and everything is perfect.
Sounds great. So it makes the light very, very easy in the darkroom.
Yeah, the darkroom work is really fastened and easy.
Okay, and does this split grade controller work with almost every enlarger, or do you need special enlargers for it?
No, we have a wide range of enlargers, starting at Kienzle, Durst, Lights. All the famous enlargers are equipped with split grade system, and if no motorized filter module is available for an enlarger, we will have also the opportunity to take a LED cold light source.
Ah, okay. So you can use it for a very wide range, pretty much almost enlarger.
Of any
Sounds
given
great.
enlarger.
So what do we have around here?
That's a LED cold light source for 35mm films for a V35 enlarger. As you may see, it's a very fine manufactured product, and all of these parts are manufactured in Wetzlar.
In Wetzlar, Germany.
Yes.
So 100% made in Germany.
Yes,
Okay.
really. And that's a start for 35mm films, but we also have a lot of different sizes, up to 20 by 24 inch now.
Really? That big?
Yeah, that big size. And all of these type of light sources work with several hundreds or thousand LEDs inside the light source. And the color of the LEDs is red, green and blue.
Red, green and blue.
Yeah.
So you can work with pretty much every material.
Yeah, it was mainly designed for black and white papers, but we have now tested also that it's able to expose RA4 and as well ilfochrome papers.
Sounds also great. So many interesting products around here. So I know what this is. This is a densitometer, right?
Yeah, okay. Yes, that's a densitometer.
Can you maybe explain what this product is for and how you doing?
With a densitometer you are able to measure the density of negatives as well as of papers. And the main interest inside the negatives is the exposure of the negative okay, and it's the development of the negative okay. And as you might try to test it with your eyes, it's not possible. You also always need a measuring tool, and we build very stable measuring tools. And that's a short introduction into the process. First of all, you say the base plus fork is 0, and from that point on you are able to measure the density in the lights as well as in the shadow areas.
Okay, so you're measuring at different points to figure out if it's all over well exposed.
Yes.
Okay.
So the shadows are representative for the exposure, and the lights, which means the darkest part of the negative, are influenced mainly by the development.
Okay.
Same is possible with the paper. You also set the 0 point to the paper white, and from that point on you can measure the density. You might check if your paper is already forked or if the exposure is okay.
Okay, so if you have stored your paper for quite a long time, this will also help you to figure out if it still works.
Yes, that's good.
Perfect. So okay, and this looks interesting. What do we have over here? 2 Flashmasters.
That's the only product which we produce for the digital photography, and the idea is to help the photographer to create the layer mask which enables him to isolate the object from the background. And with that small slideshow you see what happens. First flash goes in front of the object, second one eliminates the background, then you take that photo, increase the contrast and reduce the color, and finally you have an automatic mask for your print.
This is also good for product pictures.
Yeah.
It makes it very easy to clip them.
Yeah, and even if you have very fine details inside, like in bicycles, in the wheel, or here in the hair, you will be able to clip the picture within seconds.
Very great, sounds very interesting. So I know what this is because we sell this already.
Yes, already. Okay.
Like the mobile darkroom lights. One is supposed to work for black and white papers, and the other one is for color papers. Makes it. May I introduce it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Makes it very easy. You know, if you're developing and you're not sure if it's fully developed, you can just have a look without harming the picture. Works very well. So in case you have any trouble with figuring out when to stop developing, and if you just want to check if it's overall developing well, go for one of these lights.
Yeah. So maybe go to the TRS film processor. That's a product which automizes the classic movement of the tank. You may know that very well. If you have a classic black and white film developing process, you need to turn and tilt the tank in that way. And if you do that for 20-30 minutes, you know, it's a very long time.
It is, and
maybe
it can
the
be very
phone is
heavy.
ringing.
It can be very heavy.
Yeah. And also the cycles of the agitation and the standstill process have to be controlled very precisely. And that's what the TAS film processor does. You simply insert the tank. You have already put in the parameters, and then you start the process, and it tilts and turns the tank. In that case a combi plan, but we have adapters for almost any existing tank systems.
Does it only work with sheet film or also with
Also with
Jobo, Patterson tanks for 35mm or roll film?
almost any given tank system, so you can also develop 35mm films or 120 films. There's no limitation in that.
This is very interesting, and as not every one of our customer is coming from Europe or from Germany, does it also work with different power systems? Like we have 230 voltage, and in other regions like Asia it's 110.
Most of our devices are powered by external power supplies, so wall plug power supplies, and all of them are capable to work with 100 volt up to 240 or 250 volt.
Okay, so this is great. You just need an adapter and
Only an adapter for the main plug, and that's all.
sounds great. So Jürgen, I thank you very much for having us on your booth.
Thank you also.
We really like what you're doing and what you're especially doing for analog photography. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And check out Heiland Electronics from Wetzlar.
Thanks a lot.